trying little.
Yoga.
Now, I know I've been gone for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been a year, but a lot has happened. I've been focusing on my career, working a lot of overtime. So it's a lot to try and balance life and then try and do these videos because the editing is a lot for me because I do everything myself. Try and do the best that I can and, see how much information I can get out there whenever I can. I will be uploading some videos that I did, but I hadn't finished editing. I'm going to do that. It's going to be about old topics and subjects, and I'll just be throwing those out there. The reason that I wanted to jump back in right now is because there is this movement, there has been this talk that has, come from nowhere. And throughout a few of my videos, I have talked about reparations. I have discussed that I do believe that we as a people, what we went through, that we will receive them. And this is not about relying on people to do something out of the kindness of their hearts. This is about what is going to happen. And it's going to happen in one of two ways. It can happen the easy way, where people recognize, like they have recognized so many others, the Japanese in the internment camps, the Native Americans, the Ashkenazi Jews, so many people, even the people who were the slave holders received reparations. So if everybody around this world can get reparations, so can we. And I do believe that we're the last ones because we have so many issues that need to be resolved. The discussion needs to be had not by other people who are not us, but by us. And there needs to be a standard and it needs to be understood. And ever since I have heard about this ADOS conversation, I am starting to see people splinter. And anyone who is a Bible believer or reader, it did say the wheat and the tares would be separated. And this is even amongst all of the Black people across the diaspora. But this discussion that is happening here in the United States, because everything that we talk about is broadcast, every move that we make over here is put out for the world to see. That's why, other people are looking and they have their opinions or feel a certain way about this discussion. I have always talked to people, there would be some racist people who would come on my videos and talk about how we're not going to get anything, we don't deserve anything, welfare was for us. I'm not even going to go into the stupidity of that, but I've said I'm not going to argue with them anymore. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen the easy way, which is, people coming together, recognizing that, we are owed, and then going ahead and doing what they are supposed to do, not trying to scheme their way around it or to lay it out where eventually, anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Anything that we get goes back to, the way it was. Any the people who are the oppressors, or who are the ones who are in debt to us, truly giving out reparations. And people are saying, it'll be a cold day in hell before that happens. And I say, I do believe that myself. I don't believe that, they're going to take our demands seriously. And I do believe it's going to have to be done the hard way. And it's not about us rising up and doing anything. It's about what's going to happen if they don't do what they are supposed to do. These people have a lot to lose, and there will be a lot of devastation on them if they do not take this last opportunity, because this is the last opportunity. Black people are in such a state collectively that there is no more bottom to go. You have heard these stories about people talking about taking children on field trips to touch cotton and saying, imagine you're a slave. To be at that point mean you've hit the bottom. So there's nowhere to go from there. So it looks like to me, this is the last chance collectively that these nations have to do what they are supposed to do before they are made to do what they are supposed to do. And if they are made to do what they are supposed to do and they choose the hard way, they are going to pay a way higher price than they otherwise would have. And about the whole ADOS movement, I'm not sure about it. Some of the things that I've heard is, it's for African descendants of slaves. So that means here in America that it's Black people who are descendants of antebellum chattel slavery. And there's a lot of debate on who that would apply to. And I'm noticing that, a lot of people have a lot of different things to say. And a lot of it has to do with people from different cultures, people who are born in Africa or Jamaica or in these different countries that are not directly affected by antebellum chattel slavery here in America, but they may live here in America. They may have a parent that is a descendant of antebellum chattel slavery. Me, myself, my mother is from Missouri. My father is from Tennessee. And not only antebellum chattel slavery, but there was the period of Restoration. There was the period of Jim Crow. There is the separate but equal. There's the new Jim Crow. It hasn't stopped. It's just modernized itself. And I find a lot of people like this man here that you see. He wrote an article about how ADOS is separating the quote-unquote Pan-Africanist movement. He has said that he loves all people all around the world, and the ADOS movement doesn't specifically talk about unity of all people around the globe, just people in America. Which that is what ADOS, because antebellum chattel slavery happened here in America. And I can leave the article in the description. There's a lot of people who are here who are from the continent and they immigrated here that are 100% in support They say that, this kind of diminishes the fight in other countries across Africa. There are people in Puerto Rico who also want to claim reparations as well. The stance that Dwayne Wong, and I guess that's his last name, I'm not even going to butcher it. I believe the stance that he's taking is ill-informed. This is not taking away the claims of people across the diaspora. This is actually the beginning of the claims for people around the world, because I do believe that this needs to be discussed. I actually like that there is a name to reparations. I like that people are going to politicians and asking about reparations. And if these politicians do not have an agenda on reparations, and they look like they are BSing on it, I do believe Black people should withhold the vote. This whole Democrat, Republican, Independent bullshit is exactly what that is, because there is no difference between them. You have seen the racism between both parties. These people are the same people. I don't care if they lean left or right. And the only thing that we should be concerned with, like everyone else, is about us. Because we always want to take on the problems of everybody else, and then we never get to our issues, and we never get a resolution, and we are still in the stressful, traumatic situation we were in years ago. So, if it means 2020 that we don't vote again, that's my plan. Like I said, if I don't hear anyone talking about it, I'm not voting. Just like last year, I'm not doing it. I don't care if Trump gets sent to office. I don't care if Pence, oh well, so be it. I don't owe anyone anything that does not take me seriously. I'm not going to help you do what you need for your group and for you and your career. I'm not going to get off from work and take money away from myself or have to shift things around to help you, and you don't give a damn about me. And that's how we should think. But I think this discussion is good. And I don't think people should worry about if you get it or not. I think the discussion needs to be made so we can hammer out some of the things that, could impact when we do get it. Because it's going to happen. Like I said, it can be the easy way or the hard way. But actually, I think what this man and many others should think is it's not taking away the collective. If we start our movement, other people around the world who have claims, particularly against these European nations, make those claims. Ask for reparations. You can do this across the globe. It looks like there are people, and it's always been this way, Black people who go against something. I don't know how you could be against, talking about antebellum chattel slavery and the reparations, talking about Jim Crow, the new Jim Crow, and everything that we've been denied in this country. You have to give it the side eye. This whole thing with Kamala Harris and her Blackness, I guess this started out about this discussion. Like I said, she may have Black ancestry, but I do not see this woman as Black. I see her as biracial. Just like Obama, I see him as biracial. He is not the first Black president. He's the first biracial president. Biracial people should be proud of that. And that's a rule that needs to be set with this ADOS, because this is a sickness within our community where we one drop rule people in that really has everything to do with our sexual preferences. And you have a person like this who say, and you don't really know who this person is, they've always seen this person as a black woman, and that's Kamala Harris. Jamila Hill said the ADOS movement, I believe, is gigantic misinformation campaign to distract people from the real issue. Let's just say it feels very Russian to me. So basically they're saying that this movement comes from Russia. They're trying to throw something in there to divide people. This has nothing to do with division. And I'm side-eyeing her. And then here's a lady who basically said that she is not knowledgeable about how ADOS started, or you are being paid to change the narrative for political reasons. And for her to say that, this is from Russia, this is not a real person, and, it smells of what Democrats will say, because I wouldn't be surprised if she's not a Democrat. This person said the Democrats are literally exposing themselves, and they are no different than Republicans. Exactly. There are many others who are very nasty about this whole discussion. It's not like somebody is cutting a check. It would be one thing if they said the checks are finna go out in 6 weeks or something like that, but that's not even the case. This is very strange that when we start talking about reparations, we get this pushback. But everybody has tears and sympathy for Ashkenazi Jews. They have tears and sympathy for Native Americans. But there's no tears and sympathy for the plight of what we go through. There were other people who were talking about this, because they are not ADOS. I would say they have a parent that is African American descendant of slave, but they don't have both parents. And a lot of people are saying, there needs to be some ground rules. It has to be both parents. Some people want to go back to parents, grandparents, and great grandparents. And I do understand that, because every time, something is said to be with us, everybody can get a leg in, like affirmative action. Who is the recipient of affirmative action? White women. We saw what happened with Rachel Dolezal. When you sit up here and you call biracial people black, instead of acknowledging that they have black ancestry and they have, Caucasian ancestry, they have, Asian ancestry, they have these different ancestries mixed in, then you're saying, just one drop of that black blood has tainted them and completely made them black, so they are welcome in. And when you start welcoming in people, then, people that don't even have that ancestry can then claim, they believe that in their family tree, like an Elizabeth Warren, they had a black ancestor. They're trying to shake the tree to find a black person. And then, here's the black person. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to get what's yours. I mean, if we can't learn from the past, we're going to repeat it. And a lot of people are on board for, this whole, bringing everyone in. But I think with this discussion, it's going to push us to make a distinction and make a correct distinction at that. And see a lot of anger and animosity with people who immigrated here and are not descendants of antebellum chattel slaves. And for the Jesus believing, Christian toting, white and black people, it is something said about, what we're pushing for and fighting for. And if you're going against this, then you're going against the Most High. You're going against the Word of God. And let's see. First of all, you shouldn't be stealing in the first place. That's a commandment. As it says, thieves, nor the greedy, nor the drunkards, nor slanderers, or swindlers will inherit the kingdom. And here it says, if anyone gives a neighbor silver or goods for safekeeping, and they are stolen from the neighbor's house, the thief, if caught, must pay back double. For the people who own businesses in these corporations, do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight. And even here, and it says that, usually the person who's working for you is poor and they really need that money. So do not hold their money from them. Do not take from them what they are owed, because it will be held against you. And we know a lot of jobs that we have worked where they don't pay a living wage. They don't pay as much as they should. That is thievery. And here, the laws of theft, if you steal an ox, a sheep, or butcher it or sell it, he shall repay 5 calves for the ox, or 4 sheep for a sheep. So when you steal something, you have to pay double, triple, quadruple what you took. And it talks about self-defense, and it talks about a thief making full restitution. And people get thrown off because people are talking about animals, but this is anything. Just because we don't raise livestock anymore, that's how people made a living. That's how people make money. How do you make a living today? What was stolen from us? Our work and our time and our lives and our money that we generated to even make this nation what it is was stolen. So that has to be paid back. And it also says here that, if what was stolen is actually found alive, which is speaking of the livestock, it must be repaid double. So at the very least, you're going to be paying, double what you've stolen from people. It says here, like, if you start a fire, it gets out of control, you burn down someone's field or their stack of grain or anything, you must make full restitution. Not partial, not an end way to get it back into your wallet, but full restitution. It talks about personal property. It talks about renting. And these are 2 interesting ones that say you must not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, they will no doubt cry to me, and I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will burn, and I will kill you with the sword. Then your wives will be widows, and your children fatherless. This happens a lot in our community, about the whole single mothers and, certain talk. And then we wonder why certain things happen. People, for some reason, don't believe what they do and their words can affect others and what happens in our community. But that's a whole nother video. And then it says here, if you lend money to my people, to the poor person among you. You must not be like a money lender to him, and you must not charge him interest. And we have been taxed in this land, and we pay more than other people in this land. This is a known fact, to buy houses, cars, everything under the sun. So a lot of this stuff has been going on, and a lot of Christians like to say the Most High is the same as yesterday, today, and in the future. Yeah, you better remember that with this ADOS talk, because a lot of stuff has happened. And if the Most High is the same as yesterday, today, and in the future, I think you need to go back through there and read everything that has to be done to make full restitution for what was done. Because if you don't do it, there are going to be harsh consequences. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about the ADOS talk. Do you think that, we can get these reparations, or do you not? Should biracial people, since they have a ADOS parent, should they be take part in any reparation payments that would come? Go ahead and leave your comments, and I will see you in the next one.